Hello and welcome everyone to the turn 4 playthrough of my Tide of Iron scenario called Tiger/Out at Ladoga. The Germans have got the initiative, and if you want to have more information on this scenario and obviously the previous rounds, I refer you to those respective videos. So let's just keep on playing right away. Well, the Germans have the initiative. Most cards they have are actually for the command phase. Some of the more interesting ones are for the tank ace deck. I could use a sniper attack, but I'm not quite sure just how useful that would be. Well, you know what? I could just do that. I have enough command. So the first German action is indeed going to be a sniper attack. Here it is. Hope you can see it. So you basically roll 3 dice and you target any enemy unit, squad, obviously. And if one of those 3 dice is a 6, then you get to kill a figure of your choice. Yeah, so I'm putting it back at the bottom of the deck. I do still have to pay for it, obviously. And this unit here, well, not that unit, but that one has line of sight. And I'm going to target the machine gun there. Could even target the mortar squad, actually. That's a better idea. So I'll target the mortar squad. And I do roll a 6, so the mortar is gone. The Russians, at the end of the previous turn, actually drew a heavy weapons reinforcement, which would allow them to get another mortar squad on the board, which obviously would team up with the existing one. So I guess this was a good move. It does cost me a German action, and the other one is going to be this one. Yeah, they're only going to fire 1 dice. Just, is that any use? I wonder if it is. You know what? They better target that one with 2 dice. It's an elite squad. That unit does have to cover from the woods as well. But let's do that anyway. Well, they scored 2 hits and 1 save, so there's 1 kill here as well for the Germans. But the machine gun survives. Then it's over to the Russians. They have 3 actions. And I think I'm going to have to really push towards the edge of the board now, which is where the Russian units exit. But of course, later on, the Tigers will make their appearance, and I want to get as many T-34s as close as possible to the end of the board at least. So I'm going to move this one, and yes, that does mean that the Pack 40 will fire at me, but it won't be able to fire at all of them. It might actually be an option. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, there would be 8. It wouldn't reach. Okay, let's do that. And here it can already be targeted, and it will do that. And that's 10 dice. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. Let me double check that. I'm pretty sure it's 10 dice, but the Pack 40, how many dice does it roll? Yeah, obviously, while you're looking for it, it's hard to find. Yes, it's indeed 10 dice against vehicular targets. The T-34 has a defense of 5. That's a very poor roll on the part of the Germans. 2 hits and lots of saves. I didn't say what kind of move this was actually going to be, but it was a normal move. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and 3 for the woods. That's 7. So they hereby take the German command point from them. That is, the Germans won't collect any command for it at the end of their phase. And it is fatigued now. Well, this tank is going to do the same, I think. 1, 2, well, 1, 2, 3, 4, yes, 7, why not? There we go. That one has done exactly the same thing. And then this one will do a fire and move. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then it has 2 movement points left because this one is lightly damaged and it needs to have 2 movement points left in order to be able to fire. It's going to target the pack 40 with 4 dice, normally 8 against vehicular targets, but now 4, normally 8 would be 7, 3.5 is 4, so that calculation is actually correct. The pack 40 has a defense of 2 for its own armor or gun shield, 2 for the woods, and 1 for the entrenchment in the same hex. That's 1 hit, 2 hits, and 1 save only, so that's lightly damaged. And that's 3 actions for the Russians. So back to the Germans with 2 actions. What are they going to do? Well, the bazooka squad could fire at it, but that is going to be quite difficult, considering the range. It would be long range. Yeah, just staying here is not a good idea either, so I think I will just move back behind the woods. 3 and 4. This one does the same thing. It could do a fire. No, cannot do a fire and move at long range. So a regular move. Without the support from the tigers, it's probably suicide to end up in a firefight with T-34s, not on this turn, but on the next one. So the Russians are going to have their 3 actions again. Let's see. Well, this tank will move forward as well. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It cannot quite get in here because it would be one move too many. Well, 5, so fire and move and fire. It's going to target the pack 40 again. So with 4 dice, in this case, the pack 40 loses 1 die, and it has 4 defense dice, 2 hits and 2 saves. So for now it survives. Let's see. I suppose I could fire with the machine gun at that German unit. 3 attack dice against, it's going to be normal fire, against 2 from the woods, 2 from the entrenchment, 1 for the medic. Well, that's 1 hit and no saves. What do you know? So that German unit is gone. We have 1 Russian unit left on this activation. This T-34 is going to do a fire and move. And then it can, well, I could move off first as well. 1, 4, 5 even. Let's just do that. 5, and it rolls 3 dice against 6 dice, I think. Yeah. For the kill. That's 1 hit, but several saves, and it's back to the Germans. Well, the mortar doesn't have all that much more to do, because there are hardly any squads. Well, doesn't see that one, sees that one. And this one is mortar squad has a minimum range. You cannot fire at targets in the same hex or outside of it. So basically that's the only one they could target. Or that one. Well, no, not that one. Let's just target the lightly damaged one because it has one fewer die. 2 attack dice, normal fire. Vehicles are immune to suppressive fire. And the T-34 has 4 defense dice. Roll 1 hit and 1 save. I think the Germans should have 1 more action. What else can they do? Well, I could target that T-34 at long range. Why not? 4 dice at 6s. So even though there are 2 elites in there, those elites obviously do not have additional firepower against vehicles. In this case, I will fire at that one because that one is out of reach. This would be normal range or close range actually, and this one is long range. So 4 attack dice against 5 defense dice. Okay. Well, it's 2 hits and 1 save so far, and I rolled 2 5s as well, so had this attack actually been at normal range, then I would have scored 4 hits. But I still scored 2, and only 1 defense die, and 1 die, as you will have heard, actually fell onto the ground, so onto the floor. So let's try it again. Yes, that one comes up as 6 as well. So this T-34 certainly wasn't expecting that attack, apparently. Now we have 3 actions again for the Russians. This one will do the same as its brother over here. So 1, 4, 5. We'll target the mortar squad. 3 attack dice against 6 defense dice. I think I will try a suppressive shot in this case. Well, does that make any sense? No, because it's already fired. No, simply for the kill. That's 3 hits, 2 4s and a 5, and only 1 save, so that's 2 down. And this one is fatigued now. 1, 2, and then fire. Oh no, I have to stop here actually then, and then I don't see it. That's a shame. 3, 6, that's not an option either. I could go in here. 3, 4, and then I will, again, well, basically the same attack. It's 2 hits and only 1 save. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I should roll 1 more die here. That one misses, so it's indeed the final German unit or German figure eliminated here as well. And that's a good thing because now it means I'm going to be able to move into this hex with this T-34, 3 and 6. And that means that I will, that I've now captured the neutral command point objective. Do the Germans have any more units? I think they do. I guess, yeah, we'll be a bit vulnerable there, but, well, let's move it in here. So 1, 2. And this expert squad would not really be doing much there either. 1, 2, 3. So move over here. And it's back to the Russians with 3 actions. Well, this T-34 is going to, well, I could of course move over here. I don't have to pass the anti-tank obstacle. 1, 2, 5, 6, 7. There we go. T-34s do seem to be making a breakthrough now, and they will still have 1 full turn to move even closer to the edge of the board, because of course this is a very good line of defense for the Tigers if they get there first, because it will give them, next to their already formidable defense value of 6 and the thick armor trait, which will turn 1 die result into an automatic 6, it will still give them 2 cover from the woods as well. So if the T-34s can make it there before the Tigers do, that's certainly to their advantage. Okay, well, this unit, 1, 2, 3, 4. Again, the victory conditions are that, I'm not quite sure if you can see the edge of the board, but it's like, well, yeah, I think you can more or less make it out. Yeah, that is actually the edge of the board. That's where the Russian units need to move off the board, and for each vehicle they get 1 victory point. For each squad they get 2 victory points, and depending on how many they actually manage to exit, that's how the level of victory is determined. 0 to 2 is a major German victory. 3 or 4 is points, that is not units, is a minor German victory. 5 or 6 is a minor Russian victory, and 7 or more is a major Russian victory. So that's also why it really hurts the Russians that they have lost so many squads at the beginning of the game, especially due to enemy op fire. I have a, well, there's not much this one can do. I'll just put it in op fire, but I might just as well fatigue it. Obviously the heavily damaged T-34 over there. The Germans have 1 unit left, if I'm not mistaken, and this one also probably wants to get out of line of sight of the T-34s. 1, 3, 4. So it joins the half track over there. And then the Germans, yeah, they could potentially still buy the artillery 88 card. Well, no, I think I will just save my command here. Yeah, I think I will do that. Yeah. Then it's back to the Russians, who don't have all that many units left either. Actually, only the T-70. And I have to look up again exactly what its movement value is. It has a movement value of 6, a range of 4 against infantry, firepower of 5, and against vehicles it's 5/5, and obviously it's got the concussive firepower bonus and the overrun ability, and an armor of 3. So a range of 6. That gets me 1, 2, 3, 4, and then not in there, unfortunately, but that is going to have to happen at a later time. The T-70 came from the Russian Armored Reinforcements deck. That concludes the action phase of round 4. So let's move on to the command phase. So first we're going to determine control over objectives, and the Russians have actually taken over a few of them from the Germans. This one, although they don't get any points for it, obviously they do deny them to the Germans. That one is still in German control. This neutral one reverts to Russian control. I shouldn't take a fatigue marker, but obviously a Russian control marker. And, well, nothing else changes so far. Receive command and victory points. Let's see. So it's 7 for the Russians now, plus 1 for free on the initiative card for the Seize the Initiative operations card. And the Germans have how many left? 2, 3, 5. 5, and they have 10 now in total. They still have initiative at this point, so they should spend it first. Do they desperately want to hang on to it? If they want to get off one more shot with the Pack 40 before it dies or becomes obsolete, basically, or then they should hold on to the initiative. The Russian, how many? The Germans have gotten 9. The Russians could get as many as 13, 18, yeah, so a lot more, 20. I don't think it's worth it for the Germans to spend so much command on that. But they could put some at least, so that the Russians will be forced to spend some command on that as well. The Germans are going to put 4 more there, so they have 13 command now. Do the Russians want to put any more there? They have 8. Well, they will put 5 more as well and have 7 left and take over the initiative from the Germans, because in case of a draw, initiative goes to the side that didn't have it before. Draw strategy cards. Russians first. Spend command. Yeah. Do they want? I could of course do more than simple. The Russians also want to buy their heavy weapons reinforcements, and that means that they spend 3 and get 2 back. And they get a regular squad of 1 mortar or a machine gun, but I'm taking a mortar and 2 regulars for the cost of 3. And let's just put it over here. And then we draw new strategy cards. Do I actually want to try to get 1 more tank onto the board from the Soviet reinforcements deck? It could be a very slow one. It could be a very expensive one that I won't be able to use. Yeah, it's a good question. Well, let's try it anyway without doing the math. I don't know if I'll be, well, let's just do the math. In case I do get a T-34, I will have to buy it on the next turn, which would be turn 5 with 5 turns to go. Yeah, I should actually make that. So let's try that and see what it is. It is a tank platoon. Receive 1 KV-1 as a reinforcement. Well, that one, KV-1s are incredibly slow, so I wonder if that one is going to be able to make it to the edge of the board if and when it comes on at the end of the next round. But yeah, maybe it wasn't the best idea, but I did it anyway. And the Germans will take a card from, well, the Tigers are almost coming on, so let's just draw another card from the Ace deck. Lead the way. Your heavy vehicles may move at full movement speed when making a move and fire attack, or a fire and move attack, obviously. This action turn, so since the Germans have only 2 actions, they could only do so for 2 heavy vehicles. This must include your ace, which must move first. So I drew that one. We're going to remove the tokens. Always the most exciting part of the turn. Of course, I'm kidding. Yeah, so the Russians are definitely making some headway. They have been robbed basically of a lot of their infantry support, but the T-34s are lurching forward. And the Tigers, even though they have been rumored, have not been spotted yet. So let's see how far they can get. Place units in up-fire mode. Well, do the Russians want to do that? Well, some of these units might actually want to move forward. If the Tigers come onto the board, they will probably try to position themselves here, maybe in there, but how long will that take them with a move of 5? They enter here, so 1, 2, 3. Oh, that would be 6 already, so that's not going to happen in one turn, so I'm not going to put any Russians in up-fire. I am going to put some Germans in up-fire. Well, then again, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and that would be 8. So they will never be able to enter there. So I guess it doesn't. I guess the Germans don't have to do that. So no units in up-fire. Squad transfers. There aren't any scenario reinforcements and events. There aren't any on this round. So we advance the round marker, and that concludes turn 4. Thank you for watching.